Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers. Welcome to the daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings. And on this Cricket Happening show, I have to say that Mashrafe Mortaza, the Bangladeshi captain, who himself did not have this was his final T20 match, and yes, he himself did not perform well. He dropped a catch. He was out first ball, bagging a golden duck, and also, he could not actually pick up any wicket. He picked up one wicket, yes. But what was good about it was that even though he himself did not do so well in his final match, final T20 match in world cricket, it was really something that the Bangladeshi team that he should be thankful for, as Bangladeshi team presented him with a great send-off, as Bangladesh actually sealed the match against Sri Lanka by winning the match by 45 runs in the second T20. And also, despite the Sri Lankan campaigner, Sri Lankan, I would say, war veteran, Lasith Malinga, taking a hat-trick, his first hat-trick in T20s, but it was Bangladesh who actually ended their tour of Sri Lanka on a very strong note, I thought, because they drew the Test series, they drew the ODI series, and now they drew the T20 series as well, and they can go back home with their heads high. And this was really a brilliant performance from Bangladesh. One really deserves a lot of kudos. So that is as far as Sri Lanka and Bangladesh are concerned. As far as the IPL was concerned, the second match between rising Pune Supergiants and Mumbai Indians was a very close one. It went all the way down to the final over, and the relief came only when Steven Smith smacked 2 sixes of Kieron Pollard to secure the victory, as rising Pune Supergiants won the match by 7 wickets, with the new captain Steven Smith being the captain of the rising Pune Supergiants for the first time, taking his team to victory with his own bat, as rising Pune Supergiants won the match by 7 wickets against the Mumbai Indians, which I'll be talking about. So, and then we also will have some look at cricket news, and in that, the news that will really hog the headlines will be the Pakistan captain Misbah-ul Haq. As you know, yesterday he was named among the Wisden 5 cricketers, 5 leading cricketers after Virat Kohli, along with Yunus Khan. But today Misbah-ul Haq, as you know, the other day he had just hinted that he's probably going to decide on retirement, and then finally the news has come through now that after the West Indies series, which is going to be happening between Pakistan and West Indies, one will never see Misbah-ul Haq in any of the formats, as Misbah-ul Haq has decided that he's going to retire from all cricket after the Test series against the West Indies in West Indies. And we all know what a wonderful cricketer he is, Misbah-ul Haq. He has done a lot for Pakistan cricket. And the other news, I'll be coming back to that. And also tomorrow, the first one-day international is going to be played. And as you know, both the teams would be vying at automatic World Cup qualification, because it's 8th place for Pakistan and 9th place for West Indies. So they are both the ones who are going to be grappling for that last spot. And West Indies definitely under a lot of pressure, I would say, against Pakistan. And Pakistan and West Indies are playing their first ODI tomorrow at the Providence Stadium in Guyana. I don't think I would have time today to actually preview that, because of a lot of cricket that I have to talk about. But first, I am going to head towards the Bangladesh versus Sri Lanka game. And today it's not going to be any reports, but I'm going to have a brief look and look at the salient features as to what happened. So Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh, it was a very special match for the Bangladeshi captain Mashrafe Mortaza, because this was his swan song match. This was his last T20 match in his career, as he was going to say goodbye to T20 cricket. And Bangladesh were the ones who actually won the toss, and they immediately elected to bat first. And one has to say today Tamim Iqbal was not there because of injury, and Imrul Kais took his place along with Soumya Sarkar. But one has to say what a I mean, it was a real plundering of runs in the power play overs when Lasith Malinga, Kulashekara and Vikum Sanjaya were bowling, with Soumya Sarkar and Imrul K. Soumya Sarkar in particular very aggressive, and Imrul K is not far behind, with Soumya Sarkar and Imrul K pasting the Sri Lankan bowling in the power play to the tune of almost 70 runs. I mean, this was really great going. It was all started off by Soumya Sarkar. He started off by smacking the very first ball bowled by Lasith Malinga through the point region for a boundary. Then he turned his attention towards Vikum Sanjaya by lofting him over the cover region, and he also went after Malinga in a big way when he actually stroked him for successive boundaries. And Soumya Sarkar was looking very good, because he was just playing his natural game that he normally does. And this Bangladesh innings had really got off like a train. And Imrul Case, as I said, he was also not far behind. He was also playing some very good strokes, and the opening partnership was something that Bangladesh would be very happy about. It would have been very encouraging for them to see that Imrul Case and Soumya Sarkar put on 71 runs for the first wicket in only 39 deliveries. So you can just imagine the way the Sri Lankan openers played. But then finally, Gunaratne was the man who nipped up the wicket of Soumya Sarkar when Soumya Sarkar actually played back to Gunaratne, and he was caught, but not before Soumya Sarkar had done enough damage to the Sri Lankan bowling by smacking 34 of just 17 deliveries with 4 fours and 2 sixes. And as you know, Soumya Sarkar, when he plays his strokes, he has a sort of a poise, he has a sort of grace as far as his batting is concerned. And when we really saw Soumya Sarkar unveil himself today, Imrul Case contributed, and Imrul Case is opening partner, as it often happens. After one partner goes, the other one goes. Imrul Case followed. He was run out for 36 of 25 balls with 4 fours and 1 6. Sabir Rahman contributed 19 of 18 balls with 1 6. But Shakib Al Hasan came there, and he wanted to really keep up the tempo that was set by Imrul Case and Soumya Sarkar. So he decided to try his luck by trying to go aerial. And in both the times, he was actually missed by the Sri Lankan fielders, Vikum Sanjaya dropping him, and then Munavira dropping him too. And Shakib Al Hasan, what was good about it, the Shakib Al Hasan was not perturbed by that. He still continued to play his strokes and made sure that he was keeping the momentum going. And it's only thanks to Shakib Al Hasan's 38 of 31 balls with 4 fours that Bangladesh put up a good score on the board of 20 overs as they reached 176. Mosaddek Hussain 17 of 11 balls with 1 4 and 1 6. Mahmudullah was not out 4, and towards the end of the 20 overs and suddenly with the score on 152 for 5, the score had moved on to 169 with Mushfiqur Rahim and Mahmudullah at the wicket. And that was the time Malinga was brought on for his death overs. And Malinga, look at what he did. He decided to really surprise the batsmen by really slipping in some slow dippers. And with his slow dippers, he first forced Mushfiqur Rahim, probably trying to actually play the slot sweep. He fell a victim as the ball shaved the off stump. Mushfiqur Rahim was gone of the third ball of the 19th over. He was gone for 15 of 6 balls with 1 4 and 1 6. And Mashraf Murtaza, the captain, who walked amidst a lot of applause, was also a goner. He bagged a golden duck in his final T20 match of his career, as he was clean bowled by Malinga, once again fooled by the slower delivery. And Malinga continued to surprise by normally Malinga is, we all know that he mixes up his deliveries. So probably Mehdi Hasan Miraj was expecting Malinga to, after bowling 3 slower deliveries, you were probably expecting Malinga to slip in a quicker delivery or something of that sort, or a Yorker, but nothing. It was nothing of that sort. It once again was the slower delivery, and Malinga with 3 slower deliveries, he trapped Mehdi Hasan Miraj, who was actually making his T20 debut. And what a time to come for Mehdi Hasan Miraj. He was gone LBW bowled Malinga for naught, and Malinga had taken his first hat-trick in T20 cricket. As you know, he already holds the record for 3 ODI hat-tricks, and Lasith Malinga showed what a real veteran he is as far as Sri Lankan cricket is concerned, by really surprising the batsman with his slower deliveries, and with 3 slower deliveries he picked up 3 wickets and took his first hat-trick in T20 cricket. Mohammad Saifuddin was run out for 6 of 5 balls, 1 4, and Bangladesh finished on 176 for 9. The bowling, Malinga with that hat-trick, 4 overs no maiden, 3 for 34. Kulashekara bowled well, 1 for 30. Munawera 2 overs cost him 22 as the openers went berserk. Vikum Sanjaya was pasted to the tune of 32 runs with 1 wicket. Gunaratne bowled 2 overs, 1 for 15. Prasanna 2 overs for 17, and Tisra Pereira bowled 3 overs, 1 for 24. Now it was the turn of the Sri Lankans to chase such a total, and Sri Lankan innings right from the word go started struggling as both the openers were packed up pretty quickly. It was a nice move on the part of the skipper Mashraf Murtaza to thrust Shakib Al Hasan to actually bowl in tandem with him, and Shakib Al Hasan never disappointed. He in fact sent both the openers packing to the pavilion. First he picked up the wicket of Kushal Pereira, was the danger man, was clean bowled for 4 of 2 balls, 1 4, and then in fact today Sri Lanka decided to rejig their batting order. They decided to send 2 hitters into the middle, with Kushal Pereira joining Dilshan Munawera to bat, but that experiment definitely failed as both the batsmen were dismissed by Shakib Al Hasan for 4 and 4 respectively, with 1 boundary, and then it was left to Upal Taranga and Kapagadra to pick up the pieces there and slowly start building up the start putting up the bricks. As they were doing that, it was Upal Taranga who made 23, but he fell a victim to Mahmudullah for 23 of 21 deliveries, 3 4s. But Kapagadra was still waiting there. But we saw that Mustafizur Rahman, who was brought into the bowling by Mustafa Murtaza very intelligently at a very crucial time, came in and immediately struck by first picking up the wicket of Gunaratne, by getting him caught by Mosaddegh. He picked up 2 wickets of 2 balls. In fact, they were 40 for 3 when Taranga departed, and he reduced the the Lankans to 40 for 5 by picking up the wicket of Gunaratne and Sriwardhan of successive deliveries. He picked up Gunaratne for naught and Sriwardhane also for naught, so both actually falling for first ball ducks. And then Kapagadra was along with Pereira. Pereira did his bit, but again it was tight bowling from Mustafizur Rahman. The other end, Shakib Al Hasan was also bowling well, and then Tisra Pereira finally trying to wriggle himself out of this very tight bowling that Bangladesh were doing. He had no other choice, but Kapagadra was still there, and Kapagadra went on to pick up his maiden T20 50 of 35 deliveries, 5 4s and 1 6. That was the only hope. But Tisra Pereira fell for 27 of 23 balls and 3 4s. But hope was still there with Sekuge Prasanna still left. But Sekuge Prasanna, when he fell bowled by Mashraf Murtaza for 11, the asking rate was really high. They needed a lot of runs. And the 16th over, when he departed, Prasanna departed, the score was 119. And then finally it was very difficult to get out of that. Mustafizur Rahman cleaned up Malinga for naught. Kulashekara was not out on 2. Sanjaya went for 6. And it was all over. Mahmud Saifuddin getting his first T20 wicket and 131 all out. Thus Bangladesh giving a beautiful farewell to the skipper Mashraf Murtaza by winning the match by 45 runs. And what a series for Bangladesh, and Mashraf Murtaza would be very happy with this, with they're finishing their Sri Lankan tour on a real high. I mean, to come to Sri Lanka and actually square the series in all the 3 formats of the game takes a real doing, and one has to really credit Bangladesh for doing that. Shakib Al Hasan 3 for 24. Look at Mustafizur Rahman's bowling figures. He really derailed the Lankan ship in the middle. 3 overs, 4 for 21, 1 for 20 for Saifuddin, 1 for 15 Mahmudullah, and Mashraf Murtaza bowling his last 4 overs in T20 cricket, 1 for 30, and the 2-match series was drawn 1-1. It was Shakib Al Hasan who was named man of the match, and the player of the series going to Lasith Malinga for his fabulous hat-trick. Well, dear fan subscribers, so that is as far as the Bangladesh versus Sri Lanka game was concerned. Now we'll have a brief look at the IPL 2017, where rising Pune Supergiants took on the Mumbai Indians. The Mumbai Indians, well, one has to say that today Josh Butler was thrust into into opening the batting with Parthiv Patel, and Josh Butler really took off in a big way, and the bowler to suffer was Deepak Chahar and Ashok Dinda. They were suffering under the blade of Josh Butler as he was playing some unorthodox strokes. As you know, he's someone who can play at a 360-degree angle strokes, and Josh Butler was really troubling the rising Pune Supergiants bowlers, as Butler made 38 of 19 deliveries with 3 fours and 3 sixes, and then finally Steven Smith, the new captain of Pune Supergiants, brought on Imran Tahir to bowl, and Imran Tahir reduced the Mumbai Indians. I mean, it was such tough going, in the sense they had rattled 45 for the first wicket in 4.2 overs, that is basically in 26 deliveries, with Butler was looking very dangerous, but Imran Tahir came in, and he was brought in, and Imran Tahir, even Ben Stokes went for runs, and then Imran Tahir came in and picked up, he reduced the Mumbai Indians to 62 for 3 with his deliveries, as first he clean bowled Parthiv Patel for 19 of 14 balls, 4 fours, and then he took on Rohit Sharma, was sent back to the pavilion, the wrong one, bowled by Imran Tahir for 3 of 7 deliveries, and then he picked up the dangerous wicket of Josh Butler, as he was LBW bowled Imran Tahir for 38 of 19 deliveries with 3 fours and 3 sixes, Nitesh Rana, and so that really put a sort of a real stop on the Mumbai Indians there, with Imran Tahir bagging 3 wickets. Nitesh Rana contributed 34 of 28 deliveries, 1 four and 2 sixes. Raidu made 10, Pandya 3, but Kieron Pollard really made some sort of amend, in the sense he at least made some amends here with 27 of 17 deliveries, 3 fours and 1 6. But they were well placed at the time. They were at that time when Pollard was out in the 19th over, the score was 146. But no one expected this, that Ashok Dinda, in the final over that he bowled, that is the 20th over, he leaked 30 runs, and that really was the turning point, as Mumbai Indians would probably have not expected, as Hardik Pandya started going aerial by plundering sixes. He plundered 4 sixes. I mean, one was hit over the long off, the other one was really lofted, and one was whipped over the mid-wicket region, and there were 4 sixes in all that Hardik Pandya hit, and to take the Mumbai Indians to 184 for 8. Hardik Pandya was not out on 35 of just 15 deliveries, 1 4 and 4 sixes, and he totally damaged Ashok Dinda's bowling figures, who had very bad bowling figures of 4 overs for 57 runs and 3 wickets for 28. Imran Tahir was the I would say he was the one who really started it all. It was a good job done by Imran Tahir, and Ben Stokes 1 for 36, 1 to Zampa and Bhatia. But as far as rising Pune Supergiants were concerned, Ajinkya Rahane opened the innings with Mayank Agarwal. Mayank Agarwal was consumed early for 6, but Ajinkya Rahane was really showing that he was moving inside the crease. He was really confusing the bowlers too, and he was also pulling well and driving well too, and Ajinkya Rahane was racing along beautifully to really set the tone for this rising Pune Supergiants innings, with a knock of 60 of just 34 deliveries, 6 fours and 3 sixes. And after that it was Steven Smith's show, as Steven Smith took over and decided slowly started building his innings, and finally he really started banging the bowlers for boundaries and sixes. Ben Stokes contributed 20 of 14 balls, 3 fours. Dhoni was not out on 12, and finally with 13 runs required when the final over came up, Kieron Pollard was the bowler, and 10 runs and it was 3 balls and 10 runs required, but Steven Smith did not waste any time by smacking 2 sixes of 2 consecutive balls to bring the match to a very quick end, but again, it was well contested, I thought, by the Mumbai Indians as the match went all the way down to the wire. But Steven Smith finished off in a flourish as a captain, and the first time captaining the Pune Supergiants, was not out on 84 of 54 balls, 7 fours and 3 sixes, took the man of the match, and 187 for 3. The rising Pune Supergiants getting their points in the IPL by winning with 1 ball to spare. Saudi 1 for 34, Hardik Pandya 1 for 36. McClenaghan, I thought, bowled well. He cramped up Dhoni and Smith for space with angling the balls into their body. 4 overs 1 for 36, well bowled McClenaghan. Bumrah bowled 4 overs none for 29. Krunal Pandya 2 overs 21, and Pollard, as I said, got some smacking. 1.5 overs, no made and none for 30. And rising Pune Supergiants under the new captain Steven Smith, who led the way absolutely from the front, winning the match for rising Pune Supergiants against the Mumbai Indians. Tomorrow, Kolkata Knight Riders are taking on. I just don't have this schedule right now, so I wouldn't be in a position to talk much about that. I'm sure Kolkata Knight Riders are the ones who are playing tomorrow. We'll come back to that later. And in a brief note, as I said, Misbah ul Haq, the Pakistan captain, is deciding to hang up his boots after the Test series against the West Indies, and that will be his final hurrah as far as world cricket is concerned. Well, dear fans and subscribers, on this note, it's about time for me to say good night on this cricket show. Thanks for your company, and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram saying good night.